then let's just get going. So thank you all for coming today. My name is Sarah Songer, and I'm the Program and Studio Manager at the San Francisco Center for the Book. These tours are just fun ways to stay connected as a community and meet some new people. Actually, we've sort of expanded our reach. It's fun to see some new names and some old friends. Today is the third tour we'll be taking of the Arion Press, focusing today on the Bindery. This is a place that's near to my heart because I spent 10 years there. So I'm excited to have Megan show you all what an awesome place it is. So Megan is a bookbinder. Megan, I'm sorry, I should have done this before. You've been there for 4 years.
Yep, my Arion anniversary is in 2 weeks. So
congratulations. She's a graduate of the North Bennett Street School. We're excited to, there you are, talk to you today. All right, take it away, Megan.
Hi, everyone. This is funny. It's like funny, I can't see anyone. So I'm talking to myself, the view of myself, but we'll do this. So this is the Arion Press. I want to welcome you here to the Bindery. I really want to thank Sarah Songer for many reasons, but not only just setting this amazing programming up, but also for setting such incredibly high standards in the Bindery. I think a lot of the things that I do here and have learned have definitely originated with Sarah and her incredible bookbinding skills. So thank you, Sarah, for all those things. I also want to thank my coworkers, Brian and Chris, who helped me with all the technical cameras. Let me tell you, I can make a book out of a pile of whatever you give me, but I cannot figure out how to sign in on a Zoom call. So this is kind of going to be a funny day. Hopefully this goes seamlessly. Apologies in advance for any technical weird difficulties, but I think we'll be okay. So yes, Arion Press. I give this tour often to people who come visit in person, but right now we're not able to do that because of the pandemic. And so if you ever find yourself in San Francisco after this is all clear, then we welcome you to come visit us in person and you can get the tour in person. So I'm gonna do the best I can to do this through the video. Okay, so I'm gonna actually walk through the steps of the bookmaking process that we do here at Arion. A lot of stuff will be familiar to bookbinders. We do things production, so we kind of have to think about efficient and cost-effective and replicable steps when we're designing our books here. So we kind of have to look at it differently than if you were going to make a one-off book. So the steps I'm going to do, I'm going to show you that we do many times, and that's why we design them that way. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Sarah, can you switch over to the overhead demo table? Okay, so this is the way that the pages come down to the Bindery off of the press look like this. A lot of time and effort goes into laying these out to make sure that all the pages are lined up in the right ways when we actually get to folding. It's awesome, the guys are actually on press today right now down in the press room. I can't see if I can hear the press running, but it was running a few minutes ago. So it's exciting. Pages are coming hot off the press as we speak. This is how the pages come off the press, so like that. We need to fold them in half, so they look like this. And then we fold them again, and they look like this. And in this particular book, we're going to take 2 of these sections. We're going to nest them together like this, so that we have 2 sections together. A stack of these sections becomes a book. This is what the book of sections looks like. The next step that we need to do is we need to sew them. We have 2 ways that we sew books here at Arion. One way is we sew by hand. And the way we do that is we have this nifty little, you can actually show me, sorry, you can go back to the overhead view. So this is a punching press. It's like a little cradle. It's a little hard to see it from this angle, but it's a cradle. The bottom is actually open. And we take one of our sections and we put it in there. And then we for each book that we do here, we build a unique punching jig. This is the reason I work at Arion Press. I saw a video of Arion one time, I can't remember which video it was, but there was a demonstration of the bookbinding, and they showed this punching jig. And my mind was blown because I thought, what an incredible way to punch pages uniformly. So there's different needles. It might be hard to see on this, but there's different needles set in this specific distance. And so we take the needles, we punch through those holes, and then, Sarah, can you switch over to the main view again? I'm going to switch you around, and we're going to go a little quick tour on my Lazy Susan over to the sewing frame. This may be familiar to some people. This is the traditional way that books are sewn. I'm coming. So once we have the pages punched, this is an example. This is a previous edition. This is Eugene O'Negan. You can kind of maybe see there's like holes punched, and those are all in the same spots. So this makes sewing a lot easier. So basically, we set up our sewing frame. We sew onto these pieces of linen. Each section we take one by one. We set it on top, and we have a needle and thread, and we literally sew in and out, in and out, in and out each section. And so once we have that, that is a book that is sewn on machine. On the sewing frame. We also do sewing on a machine, and I'll show you a quick demo of that. Sarah, can you switch over to the sewing machine? Okay, so I'm gonna try to talk loud. If I'm not talking loud enough, Sarah, let me know. She can't hear me. So this machine is our Green Beast. It's German, and the instructions are in German, so if things go wrong, it's hard to figure out sometimes what is going on. But what this does is this automatically sews. This automatically sews books for us. We have a bunch of needles that are set up here. I'm going to turn the machine on in a second, but I'm going to explain quickly. The different sets of needles go together. It's sort of like a crochet hook. It sews the books together, sews the sections together. This will take about maybe a minute per book to sew. If I was going to sew on the sewing frame, it would probably take me about 15 to 20 minutes. So it's a lot faster to sew on the machine, but we're limited by the size of the machine and what we can actually sew on here. I'm going to turn the machine on, so it's going to get loud. I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to load another section of the book. Okay, Sarah, can you put the main camera back on? Okay, so that was how it is sewn on the machine. And then now, actually, can you do the overhead again? Sorry. Okay, so when the books come off of the machine, they look like this. They're all sewn together like that. We cut them apart. The next step is we're going to prepare the spine. We're going to put a good coat of glue onto this side of the spine, a good coat of glue on the spine. We're going to take it and we're going to trim the top of the book, because right now, if we were to not trim the book, the pages wouldn't open because the top is still connected like that. So we're going to trim the books. Once they're trimmed, they have a nice, beautiful, clean edge. We no longer touch the edges because they're really easy to scratch up or get dirty. So once things are trimmed, we like to keep them clean. And then the next step is we're going to put some headbands or end bands. Different people call them different things. And so we have two different types of end bands here. We have these ones are machine made. It's literally a big long strand of them, and we cut them down to size, and we glue them straight onto the book, and they look like that. The second way that we do them is we do hand sewn headbands. This is an example. This was sorry, I'm trying to, there we go. This was a publication in Eugene O'Negan. That's how the headbands look. It's literally pieces of silk thread that are looped around a core, and sorry, there we go, that are looped around the core in different patterns. And this is, I don't know, these are really beautiful. I really enjoy doing the headbands. I kind of like to think of the headbands as eyeshadow. It's a nice little pop of color. It gives a chance to kind of have a neat little accent to the rest of the book. So once we have our headbands on, we're going to forward the book. We're going to put some glue on the spine, and we're going to use this stuff. It's called Crash. It's like a thin kind of muslin fabric that doesn't tear very easily. So we're going to put some glue on the spine. We're going to put some Crash on there, and then we're going to take a strip of paper. I like to use offcuts from old publications. I think they're really pretty. So we'll take a piece of paper, and we're going to put more glue on and cover the spine. And this is called a spine lining. And what this does is it helps to like protect the spine and kind of stabilize it. It also helps determine how easy the book is to open and how flat it opens. And so we wanted this book to open pretty flat. So we just put one thin piece of paper. So once all these steps are on here, we move on to making the covers. Covers are, we cut pieces of board down into the size of the cover. We cut spines down. Then we take pieces of fabric. This is going to be our spine. We take fabric and we draw some guidelines on there. You can kind of see a guideline. We put some glue on it. We put our spine down. We have a little spacer that we use, and we put the two spine cover boards down. We turn them over. And like a cooking show, I've got one partially made. This is what it will look like once we have our cover done. There's the spine. The next step is to put our cover paper on it. This is one side of the paper. This is a paper cover. Then we use this really neat thing. Production's all about jigs. We make jigs for everything so that we know that everything is always even. So this is our jig that we made. We set our spine in the middle. We put some glue on the other side of the paper, and we place it using all of our lines like that. And then we have our cover. And this is what it will look like when it's done. So we have our nice cover there, like that. And there's the inside. These spaces are important in the next step. So we're going to take our cover and we're going to put our finished text block inside, like that. We're going to line it up. This is the end sheet. We're going to put some glue on the end sheet. We're going to cover it. We're going to flip it. We're going to put some more glue on this. And we're going to cover this. And then we're going to take our metal edge boards. So literally a board and a metal edge. We have a board, we have a metal edge. And the metal edge is a little bit wider than, sorry, it's a little hard to see, a little bit wider than the thickness of the board. So we're going to take our book that has fake glue on it. We're going to stick our spine just over the edge. And we're going to put the other side on top. And we're going to put it into a nipping press where it presses down. And we're going to let that sit overnight to let it dry under pressure. And when it comes out of the press, that metal edge is what puts in that joint right there of your book and allows your cover to open. That space that I showed you earlier is what allows the cover to open wide. If the cover was to the edge of the spine, it wouldn't be able to open. So the page that I put glue on is now glued to the front of the book. And this allows the book to be attached to the cover. And that is the quick and dirty way that we make, I can explain how to make a book. So I am about done with this part of the demo. Sarah, what are we on with time? Do I have time to spin around the bindery, or do you want to ask questions?
Sure. If you can go closer to the main view camera, the sound is better. Sorry, everyone. I know the sound in the bindery is not great on the best of days. It's a bit of an echoey space. You can see maybe how tall the ceilings are. No, we're fine on time, Megan, if you want to give us a spin.
Okay, so I'll spin you around the bindery. So behind me are our beautiful standing presses. A lot of the equipment in the bindery is actually, it's really old, and it has a kind of a really interesting history of who had it when in different times. A lot of our machines in our building come from like the early days of San Francisco printing. It's kind of incredible to use this equipment every day and know that it's been being used for decades, if not a century. So behind me I have these beautiful standing presses. That's where we load books in. when we're stacking them up to press when we work on multiples. So actually, I should have said this earlier, I like to work in batches. So we do editions here. Our edition sizes are between 200 and 400, depending on the title. And so we don't do every step through 400 times. I'll like to work in smaller batches. And so I'm usually working on about maybe 25 books at a time and kind of moving them through each step. So that way we get books finished and they get out the door, and then we're not taking up all the bindery with like piles and piles and piles. So that's sort of where we're at right now. I'm just about to finish the current edition, which is A Lost Lady, which is the parts I was showing you. I'm about to finish that. I have one more batch to work on, and then the edition's finished, which is exciting. I always want to have like a little bell that I can ring when I finish an edition, because it's kind of an exciting moment. And then we're actually moving right into production of Sea of Cortez, where we'll begin to cut materials and work on that kind of stuff. Actually, really quickly, I'll show you, if you switch to the overhead view again, Sarah. This is a sneak peek of the Sea of Cortez. This is going to be one of the variations of it. This is just like a mock-up, like the stuff's not glued down, like we're still working out different things, but this is going to be one of the variations of the Sea of Cortez, which is super exciting. Okay, back to the main view. Okay, so now I'll spin you around the bindery. Okay, standing presses behind me. We're gonna move on. This is some
Can you go a little slower?
Yep. So this is some more little presses. This is like little nipping presses that we use for storage, for pressing, things like that. I'm gonna go slow again. I don't wanna give anyone seasickness. We've got the sewing frame again. And then way back in that corner is the sewing machine, the green machine. Behind in the back where that window is our sewing room, which is this beautiful room that we can sit and sew at the sewing frames. There's also the Kensols, like our stamping machines are back there too. We've got our job backer. I don't know if you can actually see that. That's where we do rounding and backing. We've got a bunch of really nice drawers that we store things in. I think to me, the most valuable real estate in this bindery is empty table space. And so we have a lot of empty table space. And that is like crucial to working with anything, because we have piles of stuff everywhere. That is more piles and piles and piles. That one's not exciting. We've got one of our jack shears in the back corner. We have the other jack shear there, the board shear. I like to keep the blades up. It may seem counterintuitive, but to me that's kind of safe, is when they're up in the air, because you stay away from big knives that are standing up in the air. So I like to keep them up.
Also, when they're down, you run into the handles and get hip bruises.
Exactly. And depending on how tall you are, it hits you in different places that are none of them pleasant. And yeah, there's a really nice painting of our jack shear in front of our jack shear, which is kind of cool. Yeah, and there's me again. So that is like the quick spin around the bindery.
Great. We have a couple of questions. One question is, do you cut all the materials down in one go, or do that in batches?
Good question. I like to do it in one go, because that way I know everything is exactly the same. The key to production is to be as perfect as you can at every step, from the very beginning till the end, because every time there's any variation, even if it's like, you know, a 32nd of an inch off of it at some step, later on down the road it snowballs and it becomes problematic. And so we always try to like nail every step. So when I'm cutting materials, like especially the cover boards, the spines, stuff like that, I like to do them all at the same time, because then I know every single book is going to be the same. So yeah, and then a lot of the times the fabrics and the paper and stuff like that will cut at the same time as well. Once it moves into the actual sewing and the later steps is when I start kind of breaking it down into smaller batches.
There's another question about what goes into making the decision whether to sew a book by hand or on the machine.
A lot of the time it is how big the book is. We have a limit to, on the sewing machine, we have a limit to how big the dimensions can be. And so if our book is too big, like a book coming up in the near future is going to be a landscape size book, and it's going to be too tall or too wide to fit on the machine, so we're going to do that by hand. Yeah, so a lot of times it's size. That's kind of the basic determiner.
There are actually a couple of questions on, I'm sorry for giggling, because this gets asked a lot. How do you volunteer at Arion Press, Megan?
Currently,
You don't, is the answer.
Because we have people in the building to visit in general. Volunteers, we don't, I don't know. We have people helping us with events sometimes. Sometimes when we do like our benefits, we'll have people that help with stuff. We have people help with sometimes with like the envelope stuffing, like mailings and things like that.
But in general, people don't volunteer in a hands-on production way.
Not particularly. A lot of it is, we do have an apprentice program, which everyone who currently works here has gone through the apprentice program, which is, it's a really incredible, incredible program. And so we tend to need longer term commitments from people when we're teaching things, because things are so labor intensive. It's really hard to have, like, we don't like, or we shy away from like internships, like summer internships and things like that, because the time involved to train somebody that's going to leave in 3 months, it just doesn't really work for us. So, yeah, so that's sort of, that goes to the volunteering aspect too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of training. Well, the questions are coming in quickly. There's a question, are all your books case bound? Do you do any sort of sewn boards or other types of colored covers?
I've only been here for 4 years, and so for me, there hasn't been anything besides the case bound books. Sarah, you might have wider knowledge of that.
Other than the Bible, not so much. There have been some modifications of case bindings, but
I think a lot of the decisions, like I was saying in the very beginning, like production, you have to be able to do it efficiently and replicable, and have it be at a price point people would be able to buy. If we have like super, and that's why we don't do a lot of like really in-depth leather work. We don't do a lot of like inlays and onlays and that kind of stuff, because it's just so labor intensive, and like it's really hard to reproduce multiples of it. And so that's sort of where we make our decisions.
Mm-hmm. Bridget wants to know if Arion uses imperial or metric for measurements.
Ooh, geez. I guess we use inches mostly. We do use picas. We use pica sticks for a lot of things, which is, I think, more of the in the printing, in the press room they use picas, but we use it a little bit in the bindery too. But I think generally we usually go with inches and feet.
Blake wants to know, what's your favorite bindery secret or secret technique?
Oh, okay. We have a neat tool. Actually, Sarah, you wanted me to show this. So we have this really neat tool that was made by this incredible, I'm trying to find a way that you can see it. This incredible binder, Leif, who worked here for a long time and still pops in from time to time to bring us treats. So Leif made this tool. This is for rounding and backing. So there's like little grooves cut into this, and basically you're able to like put the, this using all your weight and like kind of like train the book into a round when you're doing a round. I'm sorry for everyone who doesn't know what that means. This is kind of more technical bookbinder talk, but this is a neat tool that is very unassuming, but incredibly useful. I'm trying to think of a bindery secret. Oh, I don't know.
Well, there are lots, but we don't need to go into that. A personal question. Lori wants to know, how did your passion for bookmaking start?
I can remember being, I think it was in 3rd grade, we had a class project where we had to make a book. And so true to my procrastinator nature, I waited till the last night to make it. And so I made a really hilarious poetry book. And then my mom stayed up with me all night. Thanks, Mom, I know you're out there. My mom stayed up with me all night at the dining room table, and we made this book. And we just made up a binding for it. And so that's the first book I remember making, which was exciting. I still have it somewhere, probably in the basement, my parents' house. And after that, when I was like in high school, I used to make little journals and things like that for to write in, and to like make little calendars and things like that. and sketchbooks and stuff like that. So I was kind of like just making up weird bindings. I took a class similar to what you guys do at the Center for the Book back at some point that really just like, I love the hands-on aspect of making books. I worked in archives for a while as well. And I really loved the kind of like doing some of the repair stuff and doing some of the like box making for like housing for the books in the collection and stuff like that. So yeah, and then I found my way to North Bennett Street, which was an incredible 2 years that I spent there. So yeah, I guess I've been binding for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I really love, I less love like the creative artistic view or aspect of it. I really enjoy the actual production. Like give me a giant pile and I will plow through it. I love piles. I love repetition. I can just zone out and like go to town for a whole day of chopping boards. Like I love that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it myself. Leslie is curious about Colin Kaepernick over there on the table.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even realize it was sitting there.
Oh, I thought that was intentional. I thought he was a specific choice.
Maybe I use that weight a lot. It's a weight. Sorry, it's a weight. We make weights in the bindery, and they're heavy. Sorry, it's like this is a little weight. The other side is
Orson Welles.
We have lots of different weights. We have a hash marks of how many times Leif has retired. I think it's up to 9 right now. Every time he retires, and then he comes back and he retires again. And so we have a weight that keeps track of that. So yeah, I guess it's one of our weights, but it's been the one I use a lot because I like the size of it. It's kind of lays around. So, and he's pretty awesome. So I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, whenever there was something particularly fun in the paper, we'd cut the picture out and tape it to one of those little blocks of lead. It makes it easy to call for the weight you need. Bring me Leif's retirement. It's nice to have a shorthand. Okay, well, we're in the last couple of minutes. Let me see if there's any last questions coming in. People are saying thanks. And Megan, what's your favorite Arion book?
Ooh, favorite Arion book. I guess in general, I wasn't here to work on it, but I think my favorite visually is Lulu Plays. I love the black and white and red and like the layout. We're actually doing another project with William Kentridge, who's the artist for that book. We're working on a book coming up called The Nose. He's doing the artwork for that, so I'm very excited to get to work with him on a project. But yeah, I think Lulu Plays is my favorite visually. I guess my favorite to work on, I don't know, maybe Frankenstein was kind of fun to work on. Yeah, they all have their pluses and minuses, but I love making books.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, and thanks Megan and Arion, everyone at Arion for doing this series with us. It's been really fun. Nice to spend some time with you all again. So we'll be back next week with Eric Rebitzer of Three Fish Studios. He's also one of the artists for the upcoming San Francisco Center for the Book. We're going to be doing our annual Roadworks festival this year, but online. And so that's on September 27th. So next week will be kind of a preview of that. Hopefully we'll see the print that he's working on. So thanks again, everyone, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks,
bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.